Hello viewers, my name is Adam and this is Seeking Me Productions bring you another ranking video. And in this video we're finally going to be discussing the one and only Super Mario, or Mario Brothers in general, because at the time of this video we have not really discussed a single Mario game. And here we are discussing all things media and just talking about video games in particular. It's about time we actually remedy that situation. The only time we really discussed Mario on this channel was when we reviewed the Super Mario Brothers movie from Universal Pictures and Illumination. And at the time of the video, the sequel to that movie, Super Mario Galaxy, will be coming out a little bit later after this video is released. And I would like to commemorate that release, as well as the upcoming Mario Day, was March 10th, to rank my favorite Mario games in general. To be more specific about this video, my favorite games that features Mario. And there'll be titles from across essentially many different eras of that beloved franchise. So Mario is like video games main icon at the end of the day, and I like to really finally have the video that discusses my appreciation from the video games that I played over my years, and the hopes for the future of upcoming titles that I have yet to have my own take on as well. Hopefully down the line we'll actually start giving individual Mario video games their own video in their own right. So before I get on to the list, let me reiterate something that about this video. There has been many Mario games out there, and I'm pretty sure that this personal list of mine is not necessarily going to do justice to such a vast catalog of Mario games in the Nintendo's library. These are my personal titles. There will be no honorable mentions and a departure from other ranking videos on this channel, as I'm just going to go straight into the ones that I deem my favorites. Starting off with Mario Kart 64. The Nintendo 64, that console was a very landmark generation for video games, especially for Mario, and it's not going to be the only Nintendo 64 title in the Mario franchise that I'll be discussing here. Mario Kart 64 is the second in the Mario Kart franchise individually. I have yet to play Mario Kart World, which is the latest game at the time of this video, as I have yet to get a Nintendo Switch 2 at the time of this video. But I did have played other Mario Kart games beyond the first Mario Kart and Super Mario Kart 64. But I do feel as though there has been, like, Mario Kart World is the first one that has more of a departure in my point of view that I'm looking forward to. As Mario Kart 64, it really did like refine, allow the standard trademarks that reverberate throughout the entire Mario Kart series. Yes, this is this is the second title. It has a limited roster, but it does have 16 courses that have became mainstays at this point for the franchise. Plenty of nostalgic memories. This was the really defining point of the party game genre as well. Starting off the list with a classic such as this is right up my alley, but also other people's as well. Another on this list coming up is Super Mario Brothers 3, the third title in the Super Mario franchise, but I'm specifically talking about the re-enhanced version, the Super Mario Advance series from the Game Boy Advance, which is basically just a remake of this Super Mario Brothers 3, but it was more tuned, refined controls, despite being on a handheld system with updated graphics, as well as the redub of classic Mario and Luigi voice actor of Charles, in the game that introduced other new power-ups that became iconic figures in Mario video games, like the Tanuki suit, the frog suit, able to fly and also swim and jump high, but also other suits as well that continues till this day. Being on the handheld system again for the Game Boy Advance, such an innovative piece of hardware that Nintendo were the prime go-to when it comes to that type of game, that sub-faction of gaming. Something that they have basically perfected, being able to switch between now with the Switch titles being transition from home and to handheld seamlessly. But for Game Boy Advance, being the successor to the original Game Boy, the transition when they started doing more reports, this was a very highlighted title. Continuing on this list of the ranking of Mario video games, Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey, which was one of the earlier titles of the Nintendo Switch, was such a fun title. Shorter than I liked, but the poor gameplay mechanic of Mario using a sentient hat, like being to possess nearly anything from multiple enemy types or incoming items, was a fun treat, especially come later down the line where you start possessing on more other surprising aspects. I did find the level design to be they were unique in its own right, especially the New Donk City and the Egyptian and the pyramid world. But despite that, there was a limitations to what they did. It does feel like cut content was made, but mere fact that this is the reason why it's a little bit higher on this list is because the mere fact that this did the ambition of what they were aiming to do with trying to do something unique that's different from what Mario games have tried to do in the past is worth to note. Moving up on this list is New Super Mario Wii. So the Nintendo Wii is going to also be brought up in another upcoming title on this list, but this one in particular is a very fond memories, especially with this was such a welcome return to the co-op type of style of gameplay, similar to almost all plot premise or concepts of Mario. Yes, you are going after Bowser. This was a fun title too, where you were able to, most of the bosses are made up of Bowser's own children, the Koopalings, which were always had fun boss fights in their own right. But the core game, the most and fun that it comes from this is the co-op. Aaron and I had fun time doing this, playing, having that single playthrough of trying to keep frustrating cooperative gameplay that's been such a that's not necessarily a component actually for a lot of Mario games. It's because of the success that other games there have been other 2D 3D blend subgenre in the Mario franchise, like the recently released Mario Wonder that I have yet to play, but this was a return to form to the co-op, local co-op gameplay. The next one on the ranking video, Super Mario 64. So Super Mario 64 is an interesting title, as this is such a landmark in not only Mario but also video game in general. Similar to how the Mario Kart 64 became a mainstay had many mainstays in the Mario Kart franchise throughout that series. Super Mario 64 basically defined the modern main titles of the Super Mario franchise in general, as this was the first iteration of Mario to feature 3D gameplay. But the concept when they decided to develop, translate the 2D, traditional 2D gameplay from Mario of the platforming aspect into the world, it transitioned not only from this basic platformer, but as a platformer action adventure, like expanding up, like basically being the laying out the standards of new Mario capabilities, particularly expanding a little bit on combat here, seeing a lot of hand-to-hand capabilities. This is a very, despite its more dated graphics, it actually plays very well even till this day. I played the like a recent port of it on the Nintendo Online, and the intuitive controls makes it stand apart, like stand on its toes with even modern gaming, because of how influential this title is from not only 3D Mario in general, but also 3D platformers and action adventure games that even some of the highly acclaimed AAA titles from other consoles I've seen inspirations from Super Mario 64. Next on the list, we have to talk about Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers, such a landmark title in video gaming history. I think this is still the best, at least one of the best-selling video games of all time till this day, even back when it was debuted in 1985. And the mere fact that Super Mario Brothers, I think, well, a lot of people will think that this is actually the first Mario game. It's not. It's actually follows a successor to the first Mario Brothers game, which came out like 2 years earlier, which in of itself is a spin-off of Donkey Kong. But Mario Brothers, that title is essentially just one long gameplay loop on one little stage. This one, of course, expanded upon that, introducing Bowser as the main current threat of Mario and Luigi, as if we see, is basically set the concept of most Mario games in general. What made this such a defining aspect is the multiple level design aspect, instead of just being that one singular game. Trying to beat out the platforming elements to this day are a standout from different worlds. The power-ups, of course, the power-ups of in this title introduces the power-up system of especially the three recurring ones with the Fire Flower, the big Super Mushroom, and of course the Invincibility Star mainstays. Till this day, it's still a fun title. The second runner-up in this ranking video is Super Smash Bros., the whole franchise. Super Smash Bros. is one of my favorite franchises in gaming in general, and it's on this list because Mario and his crew and many stages have been a mainstay since its inception. And the mere fact that this one title was a mistake that expanded upon becoming one of the most sought after gaming titles is no small feat. Super Smash Bros. Is not only a good party game, not only a good Mario game, good fighting game, it is a jack of all trades. The recent title of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, yeah, it is basically the peak of that franchise. I have my review. A lot has already been said, especially in my review of on this channel, especially with playing as Mario in this game, as being such a solid, standard type of character that's well-rounded, very devastating, especially if you really know how to use Luigi, evolving from Mario clone to such a unique, very dangerous fighter in his own right, probably even more so than Mario in a lot of regards. A lot of his counter for Peach and Toad to be for Peach to be such a capable playable character, it makes you wonder why Peach hasn't really had that on her own titles, especially how Super Smash Bros. Utilizes her. I know she has her own little spin-off game that came out a little bit recently before this video, but I have yet to play that. But yeah, Peach should have her own spin-off of titles that are in the right based off of this game. Finishing this video is not only my favorite Mario game or games of all time, but one of my favorite video games of all time, and that is the Super Mario Galaxy Duology. So yeah, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 is a masterclass in level design. Mario embarking on essentially a two-part space adventure, really broadened the scope of the Nintendo hardware at the time, with its very zero gravity platforming elements, carrying over give Mario gameplay from across generations and factor into this new style of game platforming. It's such a treat to behold. The music is even though that Mario music has been a very a major element in not only Mario games but also Nintendo games in general. Feel as though it's from the peak here, infusing Mario, a classic Mario motifs with a grand space opera in its own right is a welcome blend of genres. When you get to Mario Galaxy 2, especially with playing more characters and of course the Yoshi assist, it just makes what made Super Mario Galaxy fun in the initial game just makes it even more better. And yeah, this is my list of my favorite Mario games, or games that features Mario. Platformers has not been really discussed on this channel as much, and I would like to remedy that, and this is a good step forward because Mario is essentially the king of platformers, of course. And so, like, share, subscribe, and comment below. What is your take on Mario? Are you a fan of that long-running, iconic video game character? What is your list? I'd like to say here down below. And also, if you want, give me some recommendations on what to play. I feel as though that I want to go back to Super Mario Sunshine, see how well that game have aged compared to other Mario titles as well. Most probably going to look at Super Mario Wonder, since that was a more recent title and a game that I probably will be looking forward to playing, possibly on this channel, have a video on that channel, possibly, or at the time I'll finally get a Nintendo Switch 2 and to get Mario Kart World, see how that game plays. But so, if you want to check us on other social media outlets, check us on Threads, Instagram, and Letterboxd for other content that we don't necessarily post on this channel. Again, my name is Adam, and this has been a Siki Media Productions. See you!